been so rocky and because my life has been so in the public eye. So everyone has kind of seen my path. You get a little like, you almost feel like embarrassment a little bit. And it's like, oh,
don't
am I
feel
going to do
that.
this? But I think I did for a moment. And then over the last 2 years too, I'm like, oh my gosh, my life has changed for the better. Like, I'm so proud of this. And life does go on. And
while The Big Bang Theory featured stellar performances from Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Simon Helberg, and Kunal Nair, Kaley Cuoco's portrayal of Penny stood out as the most impressive. Cuoco broke stereotypes surrounding the blonde neighbor trope, making Penny relatable, hardworking, and dynamic. Fans praised her natural and expressive acting, with some noting, these expressions can't be directed. Although the show ended after 12 seasons, partly due to Jim Parsons' decision to move on, Cuoco has expressed willingness to reprise her role as Penny. With successful TBBT spin-offs like Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, the idea of a Penny-focused spin-off remains a promising possibility. Cuoco credits Penny for launching her career, calling it some of the best years of her life. These expressions can't be directed. The best actor in The Big Bang Theory was never Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Kunal Nair, or Simon Helberg. On paper, The Big Bang Theory was a major gamble on Chuck Lorre's part, as, unlike his previous works, the sitcom centered around a bunch of nerds, which didn't exactly have mainstream appeal at the time. But thanks to the writing and some impeccable performances from the main cast, the gamble paid off, cementing TBBT's status as one of the most celebrated inclusions in Lorre's filmography. While every actor played their part to perfection, whether it be Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Simon Helberg, or Kunal Nair, Kaley Cuoco's performance was arguably the most impressive for reasons we'll get into. Kaley Cuoco succeeded in crushing stereotypes with Penny. Apart from making the niche subject a hit in a sitcom setting, another big trick of the show was to make Penny's character work. Considering she was initially introduced as the beautiful neighbor next door, who also happens to be blonde, it would have been pretty easy for the writers to play to the stereotypes for comedic moments. Fortunately, the writers weren't tempted by this low-hanging fruit, and this can be credited to the flight attendant star's acting chops. Not only did Kaley Cuoco excel at her role as Penny, but she also succeeded in breaking the stereotypes surrounding blonde characters in sitcoms, as Penny proved to be pretty relatable and hardworking. Speaking of her excellence in terms of expressions, one user gushed, via Reddit, these expressions can't be directed, to which several chimed in. But at the end of the day, everyone in the show did an impeccable job, and it's hard to imagine anyone else in these roles other than the main five. Kaley Cuoco would gladly return to the shoes of Penny if asked. Although the sitcom concluded after 12 seasons, partly because of Jim Parsons, who was adamant about moving on from Sheldon, Cuoco on the flip side has entertained the prospect of a potential return. Considering the spin-offs have proven to be heavy hits, with the recent one being Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, a Penny spin-off might not be too far-fetched. And if a Penny-focused spin-off eventually gets greenlit, one can expect to see Cuoco as her TBBT counterpart, given the character's impact on her career via People. I spent 12 years playing that role, and it really set off my career. I owe a lot to that character, to that show, to creator, Chuck Lorre. It was some of the best years of my life, and some of the most fun I've ever had. With Lorre showing no signs of slowing down with his dominance on the small screen, more TBBT spin-offs, including a potential one about one of the main members of the parent show, might still be on the card.